Adolf Hitler's ascent to power is a complex and multifaceted tale that delves into the intricacies of post-World War I Germany, the rise of nationalist sentiments, and the manipulation of fear and propaganda. In the aftermath of the Great War, Germany found itself grappling with the devastating consequences of defeat. The Treaty of Versailles imposed punitive measures, including territorial losses, military restrictions, and exorbitant reparations, which fueled a sense of national humiliation and resentment among the German populace. Amidst this atmosphere of disillusionment, Adolf Hitler emerged as a formidable political force, capitalizing on the prevailing sentiments of anger, frustration, and despair. Born in Austria in 1889, Hitler's early life was marked by hardship and adversity. His experiences during World War I, where he served as a soldier in the German army, deeply influenced his worldview and political aspirations. Following the war, Hitler became increasingly involved in politics, joining the German Workers' Party, a small nationalist group, in 1919. Renamed the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, or Nazi Party, under Hitler's leadership, the party espoused a virulent blend of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and anti-communism. At the heart of Hitler's appeal lay his charismatic oratory skills and his ability to articulate the grievances and aspirations of the German people. Drawing on themes of racial superiority, territorial expansion, and national rejuvenation, Hitler captivated audiences with his impassioned speeches and promises of a brighter future. His message resonated with a populace disillusioned by economic hardship, political instability, and the perceived injustices of the Treaty of Versailles. The economic turmoil of the late 1920s and early 1930s provided fertile ground for Hitler's brand of populist demagoguery. The Wall Street crash of 1929 precipitated a global economic downturn, plunging Germany into a deep recession and exacerbating social unrest. As unemployment soared and living standards plummeted, discontent simmered across the country. Hitler seized upon this discontent, positioning himself as the savior of the German nation and promising to restore prosperity and greatness. In the midst of political chaos and factional infighting, Hitler's star continued to rise. The failure of mainstream political parties to address the pressing issues facing the country, coupled with the ineffectiveness of the Weimar Republic, paved the way for the Nazi Party's electoral success. In the Reichstag elections of 1930, the Nazis secured a significant number of seats, signaling their growing influence and popular appeal. The pivotal year of 1932 saw Hitler's meteoric rise to prominence. Running for president against the incumbent, Paul von Hindenburg, Hitler garnered widespread support, capitalizing on widespread dissatisfaction with the status quo. Though he ultimately lost the election, his strong showing solidified his position as a major political figure. In January 1933, Hindenburg reluctantly appointed Hitler as Chancellor of Germany, believing that he could be controlled and manipulated by more conservative elements within the government. However, Hitler had no intention of being a mere figurehead. Using a combination of legal maneuvering, coercion, and intimidation, he swiftly consolidated his power and dismantled democratic institutions. The Reichstag fire of February 1933 provided Hitler with a pretext to enact emergency measures, including the suspension of civil liberties and the suppression of political opposition. In the subsequent elections, held amidst a climate of fear and intimidation, the Nazis secured a decisive victory, further entrenching Hitler's grip on power. With the passage of the Enabling Act in March 1933, Hitler effectively eliminated all remaining checks and balances on his authority, transforming Germany into a totalitarian dictatorship. Opposition parties were banned, civil liberties were curtailed, and dissent was ruthlessly suppressed. The Gestapo, the secret police force, was unleashed upon perceived enemies of the state, while concentration camps were established to incarcerate political dissidents, Jews, and other marginalized groups. Hitler's reign of terror reached its apogee with the implementation of the final solution, the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. Under the guise of racial purity and Lebensraum, living space, Hitler embarked on a campaign of genocide and ethnic cleansing that remains one of the darkest chapters in human history. The catastrophic consequences of Hitler's rule serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked authoritarianism and the fragility of democratic institutions. His ascent to power was facilitated by a perfect storm of economic hardship, political instability, and societal disillusionment, which he exploited with ruthless efficiency. The lessons of Hitler's rise remain as relevant today as they were in the tumultuous years of the 1930s, underscoring the imperative of vigilance, resilience, and unwavering commitment to the principles of democracy and human rights. As we confront the challenges of the present and the uncertainties of the future, we must heed the lessons of history and remain steadfast in our defense of freedom, justice, and equality for all.